On May 27th, 1997, 7-year-old Sharice Iverson entered the women's restroom at the Prima Donna Casino Resort in Prime, Nevada. Unfortunately, she would not make it out of that restroom alive. Sharice was spending the Memorial Day weekend holiday at the casino with her father, Leroy Iverson, and her 14-year-old brother, Harold. Leroy was drinking and gambling, leaving Harold to watch Sharice in the casino's arcade. Security had already returned Sharice to her father a handful of times, as Harold would lose track of her in the arcade and Sharice would run around the casino floor unsupervised. At some point early in the morning, 18-year-old Jeremy Strohmeyer arrived at the casino with his friend David Cash Jr. and his friend's father to spend the day gambling. Around 4 a.m., Strohmeyer spotted Sharice running around unattended and he began to make playful contact with her. And they ended up playing hide and seek together in the casino's arcade. Eventually, Sharice entered the women's restroom and Strohmeyer followed. They continued their playful banter in the restroom, throwing wet paper towel wads at each other. Sharice then reportedly threw a yellow wet floor sign at Strohmeyer. Around this time, Cash entered the restroom to see what Strohmeyer was up to. It was then that Cash saw Strohmeyer forcing Sharice into the handicapped stall. Cash looked over the adjacent restroom stall and saw Strohmeyer holding Sharice down with a hand over her mouth and SAing her. Instead of intervening to help the terrified and defenseless Sharice, he left. Strohmeyer exited the restroom 20 minutes later and acted like nothing happened, but confessed to Cash that he had murdered Sharice. In a bid to catch Sharice's killer, Nevada police released CCTV footage from the casino. The footage showed Sharice entering the restroom being followed by an unknown male. The footage was broadcast nationwide, and it was then that a couple of classmates recognized Strohmeyer and alerted police. Strohmeyer was arrested and charged with first-degree homicide, first-degree kidnapping, SA of a minor with substantial bodily harm, and SA of a minor. During questioning, Strohmeyer stated that Sharice had thrown the wet floor sign at him and it caused him to snap. He confessed that he strangled her to stifle her screaming. But before leaving, he noticed that Sharice was still alive and he twisted her head in a bid to break her neck. After he heard a loud pop, he was satisfied that Sharice was dead. Strohmeyer later tried to claim that he was high on drugs and alcohol and did not remember committing the crime. In order to avoid the death penalty, Strohmeyer pleaded guilty to all 4 counts and was sentenced to 4 consecutive life terms. Cash was never charged and never expressed any remorse for not intervening. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.